This is the first of two shakedown shows previewing the US F1, the Austin, Texas race. And we start today's show looking at the battle heading to the USGP at the Circuit of the Americas and the latest design innovation in F1, the rubber nose of Sebastian Vettel's Red Bull car. The car that will likely win him the 2012 championship, from the designer that likely has ruined the competitive nature of the 2012 season. The USGP is here, and the Red Bull RB8 has another new trick to go faster, this new rubber front end. Hey, who knew a Red Bull F1 car has the same synthetically pliable front end as a Lexus? No, not the luxury car, that well-endowed stripper over at Sapphires. Oh my God, that's her name, Lexus. She comes on right after Cinnamon, or Cimarron, I kind of forget. Before we get to F1 and the USGP, let's cover the racing action from this past weekend. Sebastian Loeb celebrated his retirement from WRC by winning his last event in Spain. Latvala celebrated his departure from Ford, moving over to Volkswagen, by also finishing on the podium, finishing second in that same WRC race. Casey Stoner in MotoGP celebrated his retirement by finishing on the podium once again, third over at Valencia. And NASCAR had a race in Phoenix, and we all know about the fist fight, but Brad Keselowski scored enough points that all he has to do is finish 15th or better in the final race at Homestead. So to make that race still have some appeal, NASCAR has decided to go all idiocracy, just have the other drivers kick Jeff Gordon in the balls till he drops. So tune into Homestead. Let's talk about the Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas. It's the latest site for a USGP. There was this Jersey thing about to happen, but it's underwater financially and literally. Leo Hendry is now shopping that event as a boat race. Austin's the second to last race in the 2012 F1 World Championship and possibly the deciding round. Vettel is coming to America 10 points ahead of Fernando Alonso, 57 points up on Kimi Räikkönen, 25 points for a win. So with 2 races left, a maximum of 50 points, it's all down to Alonso versus Seb. Vettel needs to gap Alonso by 15 or more points. A Vettel USGP win means Fernando must finish 4th or better to stay alive, or any combination to get past that 15. Vettel 3rd, Alonso 11th or worse, and it's all over. But today's show is not a math test. The racing will solve those equations. And we will wait till Friday's show, Friday's Shakedown, to really break down a lap of the track, because there's still so many variables that a simulator can't solve, like the track surface grip and tire wear friction, track and ambient temperatures, all of that stuff. No. We start the US F1 story time by looking at the guy that ruined the last 3 F1 championship seasons, Adrian Newey, the Red Bull Racing race car designer. No offense to Seb, who in passing Jenson Button at Abu Dhabi showed he is a racer, not just the jockey in the fastest car. But Alonso had it right. You're not just racing Vettel, but really you're also racing Newey. His technology and science, his rules magic, and his incessant imagination. The Red Bull RE8, designed by Adrian Newey, seems to keep spitting forth innovations to make it quick and adaptable to almost any racing dynamic or rules dictate. The latest is this rubber-like nose. Now, if you're an F1 fan, you've read all about it already and seen the video snapshots. And I've included a couple of links describing what Newey's cooked up now. AxisOfOversteer.com has more videos that showcase the moving nose. Simply stated, the lower a wing is to the ground surface, the more effective it gets, due to ground effect, creating pressures and vacuum. And we've covered this before, so Google away if you kind of need to catch up. Now, for the past 2 to 3 years, everyone's been watching the Red Bull front wings for flex, as they seem to run closer to the track versus the competition. That shot there, that's from 2010. There's always talk about the rake of the Red Bull cars. How about the way the carbon wings are laid up to allow flex? There's theory after theory after theory how they do it. All the while, the FAA rules guys enact and enforce stricter and stricter regulations on the minimum allowable wing flex. And always, the Newey Red Bulls passed the test. Now at the Singapore F1, a new longer, and now we learn, more rubbery nose was run. No big deal, but it was just the first race of 4 straight Vettel wins. Their reclaiming of race car design domination and the lead in the 2012 championships, driver and constructors. In the 2012 RB8, we know there's a ton of Newey magic, and probably a lot of things we still don't know. Adrian Newey is the master of finding solutions to rules limitations. No blown diffuser? I'll create downforce with another airflow management idea, or 5. Mercedes and Lotus can't solve the double DRS thing? I got it. Others think they're ahead of this whole Coanda effect. Jet streams, like, I don't know, the engine exhaust, have the property to attach themselves to surfaces, which in F1 creates air management and air fence advantages like sealing the rear diffuser tunnels. Yeah, we've done that before, says Adrian Newey. You just never asked me. And now the wings can't flex, but I'll make the nose. For Newey, the man that destroys the F1 show that Pirelli, DRS, good and bad driving try to maintain, breaking away from the pack once again with significant game-changing advantages. It's nothing new for Adrian Newey. Let's rip through his history of groundbreaking designs, and you go all Google up on the details, because during his career, Adrian Newey was involved in some great technological and very advanced stuff. To start in 1980, shortly after graduation from Southampton University, Newey began working for the Fittipaldi F1 team. Nothing profound, but he gained experience. Then he joins March Engineering. His first race car, the Newey-designed March GTP car, won the IMSA Championship in 1983 and 1984. It was all about ground effects and flowing the air through the car. His first IndyCar effort, the March 85, won both the championship and the Indy 500, while his follow-up models won the championship in '86 and the Indy 500 both in '86 and '87. Still with March, and now their renewed F1 Leighton House program, he worked on the car's underbody, the nose aero, and blown diffusers, and the overall chassis rigidity. It was a small team. They got big results and almost wins. Then he moved to Williams F1, where he employed advanced aerodynamics with electronic body control. We call it active suspension. His first car in 1991 won 7 races, but then his designs won 5 titles in the next 6 years. Next, he joined McLaren. Again, the fixation on aero, and experimenting once again with the whole blown diffuser concept. Remember, he had started that experiment in his years with March. The 911B F1 car was the first one. At McLaren, 3 more F1 world titles. Now, sometimes at McLaren, he drew himself into extreme design directions, and this led to reliability problems. That was the unraced in 2003 MP418. But his solutions to the problems were always superb and always got results. Now, from last week's Kimi show, remember in 2005, they won no title, but his McLaren cars won 10 of the 19 races that year. Then in 2006, Red Bull Racing became his new and current home. And his RB6 and 7 race cars were again deploying some extreme aerodynamic solutions, the blown diffuser, flexi front wings, for example. Newey creativity and bravery is seen in the 2012 RB8, after the FAA banned blown diffusers. He used all his aero knowledge and logic on how to use the gray areas in the rulebook, boundary layer airstreams, and Coanda effect to the maximum. He was able to use exhaust gases to blow the diffuser once again, in a different way, in a way the FIA officials never imagined. You know, left to his own devices and no rules, we've seen and raced his handiwork in the Gran Turismo sims with first the X1, then his X210 and 2011 evolutions, and soon a 5G future car, this white one here. Kind of makes rubber noses seem pedestrian even for Newey. When the race cars hit the Circuit of America track, the real race cars, it'll be back to reality. For Red Bull, it's a championship to win. Really, it's kind of theirs to lose now, thanks to Newey, Vettel, and teamwork. And for all the competition and rules makers, it's a hard look in the mirror as to the capacity to rise to the challenge of Adrian Newey. Oh, and by the way, looking at the 20-turn flowing high-speed configuration of COTA, it's very much a Red Bull accommodating track. So, one more thing. If you like Shakedown, please share it with your friends and pass it around. If you look at the view counts of auto racing on Drive, big names like Koenigsegg and Lambo or extreme tuner cars with 1,000 horsepower, they get more views than auto racing, even when Chris Harris drives things like the Delta. Drive will be planning 2013 soon, and although I haven't really heard anything to yet of what will happen next, I'd like to put our best foot forward. You viewers have nailed loyalty, retention, how long you watch a video, and engagement, and I really read every comment, every comment. I'm actually asking your help to raise our profile, so together we can show more people auto racing really does make a difference in the auto enthusiast world and the auto industry. I haven't asked you before, appreciate it now. Thanks.